Going to be lubing my clutch cable today and go over the steps for you guys. To start off, what you're going to want to do is disconnect your clutch lever from your housing just so you can free up this wire. And what I'm going to be using is this Motion Pro cable luber along with the Motion Pro cable lube. So I'm going to get started off by disconnecting the clutch lever. Now for the Ninja 650, in order to remove your clutch cable, what I recommend you do is loosen the 2.5 hex bolts on the back of your clutch housing. Flip it over so you have access to this single 8mm bolt on the back, and then take it off with a wrench. With this 8mm bolt removed, you can just push out the bolt on the other end here, just like that. Pull it all the way out. At that point, your clutch cable is free. I have a sleeve in, so just be careful you don't lose this little sleeve. With the bolts removed, what you want to do is line up the slits in your clutch cable and your assembly so that you can pull out the wire through it, out, and there you go, it's done. Then just loosen this up, and you can see here where it's fit in through that little slot, and what that'll do is that'll just screw out so you can have free access to your cable here. Once you're done unscrewing your clutch cable from the housing here, you can then remove this by just again lining up the slits and removing the cable out from here. At that point, you'll just see that it's free. Now from the other end, you can, if you want to try and be a bit cleaner, disconnect your clutch line from your actual clutch itself. However, in this case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to leave it attached, place some paper towel underneath to catch any excess lube that'll run out, and go from there just to save on some time. At that point, you're just going to feed your, you're going to loosen your clamp by unscrewing it, and then you're going to slide in your clutch cable as you see here. Once your clutch cable's in, I recommend when you're twisting, if you have one of the dual clamp designs, one of the dual pin designs which pushes on it evenly, is that you twist them at the same time so that your one side doesn't clamp down first and then do the other. I recommend do, like a turn with the one on the right, then turn on the one with the left until it's nice and snug, until it's nice and tight. Either way, you're going to get spillage. So what I recommend doing is, again, just like on the bottom there, is have sufficient amount of paper towel ready. Otherwise, it'll leak everywhere, and it's going to be a heck of a mess to clean up. I got the Motion Pro cable loop here. And all you have to do is take this nozzle and fit it into the hole on the bottom right here, and that's where you're going to spray into. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to be removing the clamps here. I just pulled the boot back. So what's going to happen is the new cable loop is going to push out the old crap, see if it, if it's dirty, etc. You're going to get a lot of run through. So I recommend placing paper towel, a rag, again, whatever you have, underneath to catch the excess lube that's going to spill out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the paper towel in there, as well as wrap the paper towel around here to close it around, and then I'll start spraying the lube through the system. Now you're going to have to, just to make everything easier, is you're going to have to elevate the tube so that it doesn't, so it has an easier time going down through the system. And you're going to want to do it in short little bursts, because once it starts making its way down the line, it will come out fairly quick at the other end, as you can see here. Yep. And you're just going to want to do it enough so that the liquid that comes out the other end is relatively clear and not gunky, not dirty essentially. But once it runs clear, you can then clean up the mess and reattach the line, which I'll be doing shortly. So just to show you how I had it clamped around, when I loosen it, you'll see how I fed the actual clutch cable into it. And as I mentioned, when tightening, you're going to want to go a turn, 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 so that it applies pressure evenly, as opposed to like clamping down one side and then the other. So once I loosen this up, this is how you're going to want to feed your cable through, so that your ball end goes through all the way and sticks out the other end, your cable, and your cable housing all have to be inserted. So what I did was I inserted the housing up until the first clamp area, and then I have the cable running through to the second, and when it's held up and you insert the spray nozzle in the back, it then sprays through and forces it through the cable. With the lubing of your clutch cable complete, you can then reinsert the housing for it, which screws into your bar end here like this once the clutch cable has been inserted, and then you can reattach the lever. So before I went ahead and reattached my lever to my handlebars here, I just applied some white lithium grease here to the actual bolt itself, just so it was clean and there wasn't any binding within that area. And I reattached the line and the lever after that and tightened it all back up. I don't know if I noticed a huge difference. It wasn't too dirty, my lines, when I flushed it out. There was some gunk that did come out. Nothing excessive though. But that's it. That's all you gotta do. Shouldn't take you guys more than about half an hour, especially if you don't detach it from the bottom end like that and just leave it attached as I did. But once that's done, you should be good for another year. I do recommend doing that about once a year though. But that's it. If this video helped you out, feel free to toss this a thumbs up. And if you're not already, please subscribe. But as always, thanks for watching.